Welcome back, everybody, to Unpopular Review Wrestling. We are now joining things around here when it comes to the post shows and the review shows. It's still the Mike Knox show because Mike Knox is on the show, but I am joined by the host of our Raw program. It's been a busy weekend. Would have had SmackDown. People don't normally try to get everybody from every show to participate here, but we are here. I'm with the executive consultant. What's going on, man? I know my voice is a little what it is. How you doing this morning or the day after?
I'm doing fine. I mean, it was a long weekend. I mean, it was an exciting weekend. Nobody can fault you for losing a little bit of your voice after doing the Royal Rumble and them 30-man and woman countdowns. Not once, but twice. So, it's a lot to talk about for a short show in terms of quantity.
Yeah, you know what? And a lot of that I want to speak on today, and a very different review show for something that I've been a part of in this. And I want to start off, as always, and just say congratulations. You see it right there to your winners. Look, what happened to my graph? It changed. Did I pick Cody all along? Any proof of me having the other picture there, the consultant? I think I was saying CM Punk was going to win it, but damn it, WWE 2K video game saying finish the story to me, gave the blueprint away there. And first words out of my kid's mouth this morning when they wake up this morning, they see me that I'm home, is the consultant is like, how did you feel in the end? Who did you actually cheer for? Because they know I'm a big fan of both. And I told them, I said it was WrestleMania 28 all over again. And you were there. I'm cheering, let's go Cody Rhodes. Let's go CM Punk. No matter what happened there, we're still winning. And then Bayley was my pick. So I'm happy to have her be there. And I'm going to just say this again, Chris, as we are continuing to try to be bigger and better here in 2024 as a station and give you guys information and news and try to be more on location. We got some videos coming soon. Things didn't quite work out the way we wanted to, but it's a growing process and this ever-thing process called professional wrestling. But how can you be in a post-interview press conference and not point out Miss Martinez's jacket that your boy and our team had on in the building? Like, you guys, don't let these old folks, this old fuddy-duddy wrestling fan, get in that booth. Because, boy, it's going to be like Eminem, and y'all ain't going to know what hit y'all. I'm going to say it. We're just going to take y'all out. But right here, Cody, Bayley winning. Let's just start right there with that little bit of snippet. Your thoughts on the winners here, executive?
If I go with the winners, both of them at the same time, I'll say I wasn't a fan of either one. I did not like Cody Rhodes winning or Bayley winning, and that's nothing against the wrestlers. I mean, I'm a fine fan of Cody Rhodes, and I'm a big fan of Bayley.
Who was your male pick?
My male pick actually was CM Punk.
Okay.
And that's not because I prefer CM Punk over Cody Rhodes, because, if you know me, you probably know that I'm not more of a CM Punk fan over a Cody Rhodes fan. But I felt like for the story that was being told, after the main story of the Cody Rhodes, I think Cody Rhodes could have found a different route to get there, where I think CM Punk's would have been a little bit more impactful. Cody just won the Royal Rumble last year, and then in this day and age, I feel like when you have as many talent as you have, you don't need the same winner, especially 2 years in a row. I give him credit, at least he wasn't number 30 this time, but still, I mean, that's the situation. Now, as far as Bayley is concerned, and shout out to Big Daddy Cool. He and I were having a conversation about this morning. I just don't see Bayley versus Io Sky. And I know that's the direction they're going. They're teasing with the Bayley Rhea. But Bayley versus Io Sky doesn't scream WrestleMania.
You do not like that.
It's not
at all.
Not a good match. It's not a good match.
Not a good match, or not a. So we spoke
it's
about
that.
It's
not a WrestleMania match.
Okay, because at first you said main event. I'm like, anything can be a
I
WrestleMania match.
A main event because
Coco Beware was on a WrestleMania match.
Correct, but really,
no offense,
realistically speaking, I feel like it should be a main event match because she won the Royal Rumble, and I say that every year about every single Royal Rumble winner. The stipulation is if you win, and they say it every year. She said it in front of the women's, and she said it in front of men. She said the winner goes on and is in the main event of WrestleMania. Bayley versus Io Sky should never be a main. In this day and age, should not be a main event of WrestleMania. Io's not big enough for that yet.
Well, we will get to that. right? We would definitely get to that because I think your points can be valid. Okay. Just jumping the gun, doing something different here. I gotta say, whoa, look at that jacket again, y'all. I'm sorry. The Knox moment of the night. Speaking of the Rumble, we're gonna get into that real fast. I just want to speak on this because I had to come home. Shout out to Michaela Wonders, my baby girl listening in. I had to ask. I didn't want to assume, like, they are doing things with black women wrestlers, the queens, black girl magic that the men don't get and have never seen in the wrestling business. That they are the representation of strong black women and power, take no stuff, and just even you throw in Rhea Ripley, just not non-black, but just the way they're building women, the black side of thing for these women. This moment for me, Chris, and we've spoken about these things. I didn't want this moment. I just said, let it build, let's see how she comes in, and I love getting a pie in the face the way I had with AJ Styles. I was never critical of Jade Cargill, just always what I saw in AEW versus what they do here in WWE. Could she learn it, right? Could we see the difference? And here's the difference between the two companies, people who may have their opinions about AEW versus WWE. Excuse me. As you guys know, I'm hoarse. What they don't hide in AEW, like, hey, go do your thing, WWE mask very well. The production, how they put things together, and they put her in the best position possible. And something that black fans wanted that I didn't really want that soon, that fast. If I get this at Mania, you think I'm hoarse now? So I'm gonna say about that. That's my moment of the night. You have a moment of the night in this Royal Rumble.
For me, it's going to be, and there was quite a few moments, don't get me wrong, but for me, I want to go with Naomi coming back. I've always been a huge fan of Naomi. Just laying eyes on Jade Cargill, I'll throw that out there. But Naomi coming back for her WWE return, her Royal Rumble return, I thought was really special. You saw it coming, but I thought it was really, really well done. And she got exactly what she deserved in that Royal Rumble. So that would be my number one. And of course, like I said, Jade Cargill making her debut. I thought Nia Jax had a phenomenal show.
Oh, that was your pick. That was your pick. You were actually really mad, and the people around us knew you were mad that she didn't win, by the way.
Yeah, I was hot.
I tell you this, as you said, a lot of moments of the night. Let's just go ahead and get into this Royal Rumble. My favorite pay-per-view of the year. I don't know what people were watching. I've seen chats. I've seen, again, I am going to be a firm believer in there's just certain things that are not for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do horror movies, Chris. I don't do horror movies. That's not my genre. I can't speak on if it ain't, bloody gore. I don't do demonic horror. So I can't speak on, that was not a scary movie or a scary movie or not. I think if there's products are different, and you should know the WWE product. And here's why I want to talk about this pay-per-view, or this PLE. Just open it up with the women's 30 women Rumble match. Beautiful women, representation. These girls are just all in their prime. Love the way Triple H spoke about them in the press conference. But boom, there it is right there. Executive consultant Naomi returning, coming in at number 2, and the pop. I would say top 5 of the night. That's a head shake. They can't hear you on radio if you're listening.
Well, hopefully nobody's watching. Well, yeah, you want to listen to us real, listen to us on radio. Let me not say what I was about to say. Okay. Yeah, I'm shaking my head. I have to say top 5, and I'll give a more definitive list later if you want to talk about it toward the end of the show. But I know what, and Naomi was out there. I was actually going to the restroom, and then when Naomi arrived, I immediately came back. So
you say you had something in your eye. Ric Flair would say, with a tear in my eye. I could have swore I saw a tear in your eye watching Naomi come back.
I mean that's fine if you need glasses. But it was really, really.
I do need glasses, but I'm not that blind.
It was really, really touched on our heartstrings, I'll say. Naomi coming back because, like I said, I've always been a fan of hers. Like I said, she was a part of the Funkadactyls. But I was just happy to see Naomi back. I'm glad she's back where she belongs. She had a good run in TNA. And shout out to WWE for actually acknowledging the fact that not only was she in TNA while she was gone, but she won the TNA Knockout Women's Championship while she was gone. I was really, really surprised by that.
Shout out to my children watching. When this happened, as everybody's going crazy, I immediately picked up the phone in that stadium with no service. I've spoken to so many people there. Everybody, the service in the building was just wretched. And my daughter, my wife picked up the phone. I'm like, yo, how was she? She said, all I hear is a bunch of noise, screaming for Naomi. But Naomi coming back too. Jeff chiming in as well. We haven't talked about the men's yet. Okay, let's stick to the script. All right, it's a production team. We must go in the order of the show. But there it is. You were Miss Grace shows up, and I'm just like, how you feel about when she popped up? Like they did this with Nikki James, right? We know they kind of have that partnership with Endeavor TNA. This was expected, no?
No. Not to me. I know it was the rumor all day. Apparently, I didn't know because I didn't pay attention to rumors all day.
Depth of dirt sheets,
right? But if you were to ask me, before, would I have thought whether a partnership or not? Because remember, they did do it with Mickey James in 2022. But at the same time, what people need to remember is it was still Mickey James, right?
Yeah.
She still is a bona fide Hall of Famer for WWE. She has a lot of history with WWE, and there was some little discrepancy because of her release that they later reached out and apologized to her for. So that didn't surprise me, so to speak. The fact that she got to come back for the Royal Rumble. Now, granted, she had the title with her, and they let her use her hardcore country music. That was a bit of a surprise. But this, Jordynne Grace, no idea that they would have did this because not only is she a competitor's champion, I'll use that loosely because they do have a working relationship, including now because of TKO. But still, but one thing that I said, and shout out to Bad Guy Jack and Big Daddy Cool, when we were talking this morning, she looked like a WWE superstar. She really did.
That was a tryout yesterday.
And you know what? She passed with flying colors.
Tryout.
She has some flying colors. I don't care who you are and what kind of crap you're about to give me. You put her next to Shotzi in a WWE
any day.
ring.
Any day.
He looks like a WWE superstar.
Yes.
Shotzi looks like she needs to go to TNA.
Shotzi like she needs to go to the. All right. Moving on.
That championship is beautiful too. Let me just.
Yeah, I love the new TNA titles all together. But then speak on the girl you have been salivating, and it's like this man wants to propose to her even though she's married. I'm not sure if that's legal in Florida. Some weird laws out there, but will she say yes? We don't know, but you at least got to shoot your shot because you never know. Jay Cargill returns at 28. We all anticipated Jay showing up. And again, I spoke on it earlier. The moment for me, her and Bianca was just insane. The Knox moment of the night. It's like my quacky ducky quack quack, I guess, if you will. Speak on Jay Cargill. And honestly, I thought she had the biggest pop of the night from the women.
Bad Guy Jack said the same thing, that he thinks that Jay had the biggest pop of the night, the women. And looking back at it, I will have to agree. The fans stood. I couldn't tell last night when Jay Cargill came out because when she came out, everything was tuned out for me. I couldn't pay attention to see anybody but Jay Cargill, so I didn't notice. Today I watched it with objective eyes. That place went crazy, and she had moments in there, and we'll talk about that. But she had moments in there that were incredible. The announcers really made her seem like she was. The quote what Jeff said, her, because she is a star. And they said that she is a bona fide star no matter where she goes. And guess what? She proved it last night. Bona fide star. Shout out to WWE for actually giving her entrance music, which was similar to her AEW music.
Listen, I was going to mention that. Shout out to Mr. Z is Silent here on Unpopular Review Wrestling and Unpopular Review, the team. Putting this together for us as we were, enjoying the festivities. So all the slides courtesy of the Z is Silent. But I had an opportunity to speak with him, and he said, yo, she's such a big deal. I think that's that's her logo. She has her own licensing here somehow. And that's big. That's Brock Lesnar type big. Okay. For her to get that, this woman is so over that my wife and other mothers know her. That's when your lady who only watches wrestling now because she's been with you for 25 damn years and has children that are wrestling fans can say, hey, this Jay Cargill she looks like what they're putting it. She's a superhero. Okay. It's incredible the way the representation here. But right here, your girl does get dumped out on her keister. Again, shout out to Nia Jax. Just to me, she was phenomenal, to steal a pun, last night to me in this Rumble match. And in a match, honestly, that to me was sloppy a bit at times for me. But I'm not ever going to be critical over a battle royal of any sorts because there's no room for certain things. And you have to be, when you're in a ring, this is what gets me about wrestling fans, Chris, right? Because you train, you go to school, and you've done those things, I've done those things. And not even if you haven't done those things, just be an intelligent wrestling fan as you listen to the Unpopular Review. Like, follow, subscribe, and share with us down below. Let us know your thoughts. But as all these things transpire, you should know they take advantage of a ring with no one around them. Wrestling's, you have to be safe at all costs to make sure you don't hurt yourself, and most importantly, don't hurt the person that you're wrestling with, because their life is literally in your hands. Okay, so we can't be critical about how they are. Like, just it was a little sloppy. It could have been a little better. To me, it shouldn't go no further than that. Executive consultant me when they're critical of certain kind of matches. Your thoughts on, because a lot of criticism about like how Nia grabbed the ropes and did she pick her? She did pick her up with ease. You know what I mean?
The first time she picked her up with ease. The second time she struggled a little bit.
Yeah, by the rope because you had to dump her. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, she didn't get her proper footing, so Nia helped her. Big deal. That happens in a lot of people's finishing move every single time. Who cares? The first time she lifted her with complete ease. I watched it again. I saw it last night. I was like, wow, it was impressive. I watched it again the second time. It was equally as impressive. She literally, and she flexed while she had her up there. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? Yes, let's talk about the fact Nia Jax lost about what, 50, 70 pounds or something like that.
Easy. I don't know what she lost, but it's a
very large woman. But you know what? She moves better. She works better. I know we were talking about Jade Cargill, but I gotta give Nia Jax flowers.
Yeah,
I felt like she was the MVP. No offense to Bailey, because I know she won it. She was in there.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're the MVP because you win something. Let's be real here. Bailey wasn't the MVP of that.
She was not the MVP because even though she was all over the place, and I'm pretty sure she was directing traffic a lot.
Yeah. Get your ass over there.
But Nia went in there, and if it was starting to get a little boring or dead, Nia knew how to work a crowd. Everybody knows why I like Dominic, and we'll talk about Dominic later because I felt like he had a moment somewhat later.
Yeah, a couple moments.
Knows how to work that crowd, which is why I always say she's good, and she should have been the winner of this Royal Rumble, in my opinion, because she's very good at what she did. But her moment she had with Jade Cargill shows that she belongs in there with a Jade Cargill. But they had a couple moments with Jade Cargill. I mean, we'll talk about the Bianca Belair thing in a minute too. Like,
I think this is your Mania match. I think this is your Mania match. Yeah, absolutely.
Then what do you do with Bianca Belair is always my question.
I don't know, and she's triple threat. I don't know. I mean, as you were going to say, and I jumped in and I apologize. It could go either way.
Yeah.
And either way, I wouldn't be mad. But I saw the comment earlier. Shout out to Phil, Coach Phil, Fire and Ice Podcast mentioned. Well, I'm not sure if I want to. That's next year. That is soon. Remember, that was my thing going into this. Like, they won't do that this soon. And personally, I don't want to do that this soon with Bianca and Jade. I think it should be this. The only problem with this from a intelligent wrestling fan who can't do the things these girls can even still do inside that square circle, so I'm not going to act like it, who would lead, you know what I mean? So I think like a Bianca, she leads a match against a Nia, and anybody who don't like Nia Jax, just listen to the man who just think the Attitude Era has been this is being led by The Rock and Triple H. Think about that for a second. Who's right? And I thought Triple H knocked last night at the ballpark. And I'm continuing to say that throughout this entire program. I thought Triple H having the first time they take the realms by himself without the plate, the keys playing behind the scenes, full control over his first full Royal Rumble. I thought he did. It's a 4-hour show, 4.5-hour show with 4 matches. And guess what? Inside these Royal Rumbles were your matches, were your storylines. Hashtag wrestling it storyline. They were all over both Royal Rumble matches. Executive consultant. But then again, the moment everybody wants to talk about what you were going to lead into, and here's your alley-oop, is it Nia or is it Bianca at Mania?
I still think it's Nia. I think you said it well. You want to wait a little bit to build up to it more. But hey, I don't know. WWE does some stuff nowadays I don't understand anymore. I would put Jade on NXT. Clearly, she's not going to be NXT because I think it would be crazy for her to go to NXT right now. But Wouldn't put Bianca and Jade in there immediately. I think this is a warm-up. I think, this is a possible SummerSlam match. Not saying it can't be for WrestleMania because it'd be WrestleMania 2, but remember, SummerSlam technically, in WWE's eyes, is their second largest pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they try to put a lot of big matches on there, and I think this will be a very good big match on there. But, I mean, this moment, I can tell you, was one of, if not the biggest reaction of a stare down in the Royal Rumble of both matches. I'll say number one or possibly number two. If it's not number one, we'll talk about that when we get to the men's Royal Rumble, which was number one. But this was really, really well done. Really, really well done. And then this is where, think about this, right? We spoke, and I'm going to be, again, guys, I've always think wrestling's the best thing about wrestling is not knowing what's going to happen. I don't like to read dirt sheets. We speculate because that's the fun to us. Ooh, what if? There was so many what ifs going around the Royal Rumble last night with fans we spoken to and we spoke to each other. It was like, well, Roman loses and Rock comes in and then he throws Roman out. It was all kind of crazy scenarios that was being thrown out. If you're not going to have Sasha Banks, if you're not going to have The Rock, which as a wrestling fan, I hype myself for that stuff. The Brooklyn's, you said all along, and most people have, she's going there. You said to me last night, again, the show for the intelligent wrestling fan, she said, dude, her name is money now. That's what she wants. And no matter how much we want her here, at the end of the day, guys, it's a business. So if they offer her $4 million more, she's taking the $4 million. So I still hope she ends up here. I'm going to still say it until I see Sasha shows up on a Wednesday night or whenever they show that up. I'm still going to say she's coming here. But you have to still give the crowd something they're going to like. And we can look at Sammy being 30 and Liv being 30, but they both came back. They're both fan favorites. They're both kind of loved. Who else can you put in that spot? We can't say, oh, this is the Rey Mysterio scenario because that was that thing too. We can't get him. We can't get her. Here goes somebody who should not boo. No, from there, it is what it is. Your thoughts on Liv Morgan at 30 and and people in their thoughts on that nonsense of the world of wrestling. Yeah, it was worse for Sami Zayn, and we'll talk more about that when we get to Sami Zayn. I knew Liv Morgan was coming back tonight, but I completely forgot. And this is a test. I'm talking about a whole bunch of things at one time. I'm sorry I have to do this like this. One, shout out to WWE because Mike is right. It was 4 matches, and I still felt like it should have been 5, but it was 4 matches. But the runtime of this pay-per-view, PLE, was 3 hours and 50 minutes. For the fact that they were able to do 4 matches in 3 hours and 50 minutes, and I can't say it really felt like that completely. Understand what I mean by that? I think it's very impressive.
It didn't this morning when I rewatched it. It didn't feel like 4 hours to me.
Liv Morgan being number 30, she is a really strong fan favorite. I never been one of my fans' favorites, but she is really a big fan favorite in WWE.
I'm with you with that.
And she should be at number 30. I think the problem is that the fans, and Mike just admitted it himself, right? We're so hyped up thinking it was going to be Sasha Banks that it was a bit hard for anybody to come out number 30 and not be a little bit of a letdown. I think it was less of a letdown because it was Liv Morgan. She's popular. But I keep telling people about the Sasha Banks thing, and I said it on Mike Knox's show. I said it on the Australia UPR show. Her name is Mercedes Moné. If you look at that interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin, she says she eats filet mignon, not Naomi, filet mignon, right? She needs to eat like Roman and Vince McMahon. She wants to get as much money as possible. AW is going to give her that. She's not done yet just because she has not put her name more over, and she wants to put her name more over. Trinity in A is fine, which is why she tried to stress that toward the end. Trinity in A, because she was fine with that. She felt like she did a good job. But she is Naomi, and she's cool with that.
Yeah. Sasha Banks, for me, what that is as a fan, I don't like it if she goes and doesn't come back. As a person who you're in this business, I've said this when it comes to Stone Cold, when it came to Phil Brooks at the time, how I felt about him leaving. Look at me now. I'm still a moron who buys the same shirts over and over. Okay. For Roman, and speak about that in a second as well. But I had to say that these girls, you have a right to do what you want to do and get paid. Liv Morgan coming back at 30 and it was going to be tough for anybody in that position. But
the only person they could have had come out there that might have been more effective than Liv Morgan, but they couldn't because she just had a child, would have been shout out. It would have been Alexa Bliss. If Alexa Bliss came out, they probably would have completely ignored the fact it wasn't Sasha Banks. That's the only one.
And that's it, my baby girl. I want to tell you some stuff like that. Like, oh, she's pregnant. She ain't coming. I remember we seen Infinity War, and everybody started crying. And my son broke down. He's a Spider-Man freak. Was like, what? I said, I had to break kayfabe with my son on Marvel. Like, hey, son, they just made $1 billion. He is not dead. Like, let's get this together.
Shout out to this. Is this your MVPs? Because they deserve
it. This was
they do. I mean, I would take no offense to Liv Morgan. I would take Liv Morgan out and replace her with Nia Jax, but these are the MVPs.
It was the final 6 is how it was brought to my attention. Remember, I didn't put these slides together. I'm watching them with fresh eyes like you. Shout out to the crew we have working for us behind the scenes, and we're going to know who they are. The Z is silent. He said, it's the final 6. This was your final 6. Tiffany Stratton did do her thing yesterday. I was a little bit shocked there. But again, I always laugh at like certain fans that act like complete the way they should act and not be embarrassed. Like we were pointing out, people were running across the field yesterday. When people were like, when that guy with Liv Morgan came out, he ran across the field. He was like, yeah, he was so hyped. When Bianca Belair came out, I can't believe I was imitating, with the ponytail. I'm on my own. Like, I'm a big ass dude to be up here jumping rope with some hair. Okay, but it was your final 6 right here, and then right here, the 4 of the 6 were eliminated, and they were in record time yesterday. It wasn't like the men's Royal Rumble where it pressed around and it went off. That final 6.
Yeah, I blinked and they were gone. I still, even with the replay, I still haven't truly seen who was it? Bianca and Tiffy. I still haven't really seen their
yeah. Because I don't remember how Tiffany got kicked out either. Exactly. You're right.
I did see a clip on social media where Tiffy was hanging on, and that's how she and Bianca both got eliminated at the same time. And actually, I did see that because I watched that.
She did. She tipped them over.
That. Let me tell you something. That might be your Royal Rumble. Your WrestleMania match.
Who? Tiffany Stratton and Bianca.
That might be your, because I always tell you, and Mike, because you're an intelligent wrestling fan. You made the phrase. It's one of my favorite phrases now. Royal Rumbles usually have where people eliminate each other. They usually end up having a date at WrestleMania. They tell stories.
Within that
one match. Don't be surprised. That's a big elimination. Don't be surprised if that's your WrestleMania.
Because they clearly liked her. She's coming up.
She looked like a star too.
She did look like a star.
She looked like a star. And I'm not even just saying that because I've been saying that for a while with Tiffany Stratton, but she did look like a star.
Shout out to Shay. And the Big Pop podcast is where on Pop Review as well, getting it together. A lot of things, y'all. Y'all comments are coming in, and I love them. Keep them coming right here. But your winner, hey, we want some Bailey. Lost my voice. I got a couple people around me saying it. That's the thing about wrestling. And I always tell the people, when you're at home watching wrestling, it's enjoyable. I enjoyed it this morning watching it, and you can hear the story. I got a way better understanding of this pay-per-view watching it, hearing the commentary, seeing how they're swaying and telling me the story than I got in an arena with just fans acting like asses, right? And chanting and screaming and yelling at each other and sit-downs and fingers and all cheering for everybody else. And then turn around random people like they had the ponytail guy in front of you, turn around out of nowhere and say, yeah, that's my pick. You say, yeah, that's cool. She ain't winning though. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But Bailey did win this thing. And I started to call it, and this is when you said you have those matches that were set up, right? For Mania. You just mentioned about Tiffany Stratton and the eliminations and the storylines that were told there. This is the Triple H girl. Them is control of Triple H's girls. They've the one who've put in work on SmackDown for as long as they put in work. It was mentioned in the storyline yesterday as well. She's the only one without gold. It's gonna be the perception is reality and perception, people. Dan Patrick's number one tool. I've brought it to you guys here in the wrestling world. There's reality and there's perception that she's gonna go against Rhea and she's gonna go against Io. I think based off the story, because those girls can go in the ring and Bailey deserves it. You know what I mean? It just happened to be the cards that are dealt. And with Mania, it's not like the Rumble. People say, oh, there's only 4 matches. There should have been 5 matches, or whatever the case may be. And I feel anyway, there were storylines told in this match. There's a lot of matches in nights 1 and night 2 of Mania. So every one can't be that big one that you would think it could be. And I think that's why you're going to get that match. And I think the storyline tells us that's where the story is going, executive consultant. And there it is. We will be in the building. We will be in the building. Okay. WrestleMania. Another thing, Chris. Why can't they just say XL or 40 no more? Like, it's on the damn logo.
Well, Cody said 40 to his credit last night.
Yeah, Cody did, but the commentary team don't ever say it.
No, but they might as well be able to say, especially since it's a landmark, they might as well say 40. One thing about, it's the only time I mention his name, all right? Because we're not going to talk about it right now. But one thing I'm glad about Vince being gone. Exactly, is the fact that he stopped having them call WrestleMania by numbers after 30 because, and I quote, it makes WrestleMania seem old. Exactly why he did it.
I've always thought that was a horrible take.
That is the dumbest thing in the world from a genius, in my opinion.
You know, not to piggyback on that whatsoever, but just what the thought of it is, wrestling fans like to have things we can connect to and relate to, and you took that from us.
Correct.
Right. By
so
doing
now I would
that,
like to see that come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Because 40 is a big deal.
40, especially since you put the Roman numerals in there, you can start with WrestleMania 40. Let's get back to it. Right. Super Bowl is the biggest thing in the world.
Right, and they call it the Super Bowl.
And they call it the Super Bowl, and they can use the numbers.
Every one of them.
WrestleMania, you can use the numbers. Okay.
And I thought he stole that from them in WrestleMania anyway by borrowing that. So why not keep it going? But, you know, big things are gone. But the sign points, I love the press conference. So I had when Bailey came out with this jacket in the press conference and nobody said anything about the jacket. I was like, what is wrong with you guys? WWE, I'm going to say this to you. Because I'm not like other guys. I'm not afraid. I want to be there. I plan on being there. But you guys got to have a room full of people wanting to speak that you guys allow in the room. I just feel as someone who is not there, that the guys that are there and you know they're there, I'm not talking about the DDP questions and those kind of guys of the world, but you can't pick the same outlets all the time to speak. Why let the people in the building? Why the people in the building? Because I think a regular fan, at least I would hope an intelligent fan like myself who knew what she was rocking, would have been like, yo, she came out there in that jacket for a reason because she felt great to put that on. And I love how she spoke about the girls in the back and her time and the credit to Dusty and how they worked for her with Ding Dong Hello and how she felt that saved her career. She felt her career was gone. You know what I mean? And got stale because of the whole thing. I was never a Bailey fan with the thing when the NXT days and just she could wrestle, but I wasn't checking for that girl. You know? But Bailey, there it is. I spoke about it. You in agreement? She going straight to EO?
No. They're going to tease the Rhea thing a little bit more. I like that picture. Rhea looks comfortable. She don't look comfortable. She actually looks very happy and proud, to be honest with you. But for storylines purposes, we'll say comfortable because Rhea is supposed to be, Rhea.
Yeah.
EO does look concerned, but it looks like she's trying to hold back. I mean, people are probably general. Let me tell you something. If you were to say, remember The Undertaker, how people talk about him. If you were to say one person who's probably the most respected and the biggest leader in that women's locker room outside Natalya, it's probably Bailey, man. It really is. I know she's really, really, really well respected backstage.
She spoke on that too.
Yeah. I am a huge Bailey fan. I've grown to become a huge Bailey fan. And as people who watch this for years know, during the pandemic era, I feel like she was the true MVP of the pandemic era.
Absolutely. Her and Roman.
Her and Roman, definitely. She made the best of it from a gimmick that was dead and then turning around and being able to get more comfortable. I feel like she deserved to win the Royal Rumble. She wasn't my pick, and I've addressed it. I'm not going to address my concerns with this match going on in WrestleMania. But she's definitely picking EO. But because this is a slow build, so to speak, of what's going on with damage control, she's going to tease Rhea before something's going to trigger. Yeah, and it's going to be kind of like an evolution moment that she's going to pick EO because that's the way they're going. And I think another reason why they're going this route is because I think the plans with Sasha probably did fall through because I feel like that was the way they were going to go. Bailey and Sasha versus the Kabuki Warriors, but. I mean, this is the way you gotta go. So be it.
Listen, I'd say this to you as well. To see how the storyline unfolds of how they switch it. Because how do you if you picked her, then shouldn't the next opponent step up for that belt? Historically, we would see that. Oh, once you made your decision, that's your decision. How do they switch that if that decision, or do they basically? I guess it just rates itself, right? Intelligent wrestling fans is she won't make a decision for some weeks to come, or maybe not.
Right.
I'm intrigued to see it. Yeah,
she's not going to.
I'm definitely intrigued to see it. But before we get to right here, guys, we will take our first break. Y'all hear our throats. We've been told we need some tea. He's drinking water. I done had one beer. Might have another cerveza. Shout out again to the Unpopular Review crew.
Might have a libation or two.
Steve, Bad Guy Jack, Willie Beeman. We don't get you right, Willie. We don't get you right. That is my man's
wrestling dog.
Wrestling dog. Oh, I was coming with the rest. I wasn't done, but you got.
I thought you lost your voice, bro. I was trying to help you. I was trying to piggyback off you, bro.
I definitely lost my voice. That's for damn sure. We're gonna take a break, y'all. We got many shows here on Unpopular Review Wrestling and Unpopular Review. We'll be right back, y'all.
Night.
And I could tell at the end of the match he was really hurt because you could see his face. He was so dejected and so disappointed in himself.
That's right. Maybe that's why they didn't use all that extra pyro that they had rumored coming along. You know, there was rumors that they had a lot of.
Don't get me started on that. That shit pissed me off all day. I kept seeing other reports. I was like, "This is news. Oh, more pyro, more pyro, more pyro." Okay. Just like the new set thing. Oh, it's a new set. I looked at that shit. I was like, "There ain't no fucking new set." They had. Obviously, they had. I just read an article like an hour ago. I could tell. I was like, obviously, they showed you the snow outside, right? You can tell they were having issues. Seth Rollins was having a freaking interview backstage. You can see his fucking breath. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was obvious they were having problems. That was a live event stage. You can't tell that shit?
It's the house show stage.
Right. You can tell that. But these idiots really were like, oh, new Raw set. Oh, new Raw set. I'm like, they had gigantic shit they had before. Triple A said, no, too big. Let's downgrade it.
Let's scale it down
to what we have on the house show. With these two big scaffoldings right there in the center.
Right in the middle of the graphic. But they made it look like an H.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, that ain't no way that's the Raw set, new Raw set. Ain't no way. Will they make it smaller? Possibly. But will they still make something to make it stand out more? That shit was live events.
Yes, it was.
Including last night's arena. I would say this. Listen to the press conference. And Triple H thanking them, Tropicana Phil, and the things they did there. That was a favor. They must have gave them a favor for the Thunderdome, and they paid it back by moving it from Orlando, which I still feel it should have been in. From a dramatic standpoint of how the set is set up, I think WWE is great and as big as you are getting. And you were on that precipice of being bigger than you've ever been before. Like you said in the press conference, Trips, only time will tell. I think you have to do a fan disservice and not ever have wrestling again in a baseball field. I don't give a shit. That was horrible for half the crowd. And yes, he spoke about coming out and looking up to the crowd and seeing it full. It really was fuller than you thought it was. Okay, if you saw some seats, they were, I would say, what would you say? Maybe definitely less than 50 seats in that building.
It was really packed in that stadium, which
it was standing room
a lot of
too.
Space. Yeah, which has a lot of space, and which I think did a disservice for us, the fans' viewing pleasure. It was definitely the Thunderdome. Fun fact, Mike knows this. So Orlando was actually supposed to get this Royal Rumble. I was happy for that. I wish they stuck with that. Orlando actually offered them more money, right? So I never understood it. But as Mike just said, hey guys, thank you so much for hosting us when Orlando fucked up, because Orlando had it first, but then they said, hey, we're about to have basketball, you got to go.
Yep, that's what happened.
They were like, thanks for hosting us for that while for the Thunderdome, where Bailey did become a star, right? Full circle.
Ding dong, hello.
So it ended up being in St. Petersburg, Tampa, which, I like Florida. I love living here in Florida. And a lot of people sit here and say, why don't you go to Tampa? Tampa's a better city. I don't see it, bro.
No, it's not.
Sorry. I don't see it.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not Orlando. We may be crowded during the daytime and night for all the damn attractions, but at least there's something to do.
Yeah, it's something to do. We do have. I feel like we're better looking. And
it looks better.
Yeah, I think we look better than Tampa. I'm sorry, we do. Overall, we look better than Tampa.
We won't dog on your city too much because it is beautiful, just not for wrestling.
I could go all day dogging on all y'all damn cities. I talked about some cities last night. I talked about St. Louis.
I brought that up too. As they introduced them. Remember, I said, I'm from Chicago originally. That man from St. Louis. Forget that guy.
We don't like no Cardinals. We don't like no Cardinals.
Damn Cardinals around here. I say he's from Georgia. We live in Florida. We don't like them.
We don't like them Bulldogs. We don't like no Bulldogs.
LA, you're too damn far and expensive. Okay.
And too much traffic, man.
Damn too much traffic. But
get out of here.
But then the tribal chief
from Pensacola,
Florida, came out and just showed you what it is to be a champion. Barbara, listen to me. Phil, listen to me. People who want him to lose his belt, damn it, you might get your wish WrestleMania. But he didn't lose last night. Okay.
Pretty sure it's about to come to a close of WrestleMania.
Yeah,
But,
it
was a fun ride.
It was a fun ride, which makes me mad, WWE, because that means it's going to be Pedro, Hogan, and Roman third. I want Roman second. Bruno, sorry, that's something to say. Thank you. I said Pedro, didn't I?
Yeah, definitely say Pedro.
Bruno Sammartino. Yeah, I'm listening. We really are going on like maybe 6 hours sleep in 2 days. Okay, I'm just being honest here. Okay, what a weekend. But the match to me, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was probably my match of the night. Yeah, matches, and that's not fair to compare. But I didn't think this was gonna be good. I thought everybody got their shit off. You know what I mean? I thought it was really, really good entertainment wise. I know they say, well, all Roman matches all end the same. And I'm always going to say, man, y'all that hated the 80s. You'd have hated Ric Flair. You're like, I'm sorry, you must have hated the Triple H era. Oh, I'm sorry. What's that faction that everybody loves so god dang much around here? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, the NWO. Always won their matches the same way, okay? It's what heel factions do, okay? They get help. They use the team above them. And I thought Roman, I liked the whole ending of this thing and how it took place. And still, yes, Solo came out there. Yes, Solo came out there and did his thing for his tribal chief. He was supposed to do his thing. Sets up Randy and him at Mania. Solo and Randy. You got LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Again, watching the match, how it was put together. It was all right there to see how the breakups were. I wish the smash and stack up. Me and you were screaming. We definitely thought we were getting this all over again.
I wanted it so much. I was like, please give it to me. Please. They didn't even tease it enough for me, to be honest with you. They should put all three of them on at one time, but they had Roman on there. And then
you so corny though, right? When they kicked out, you said, "Look at him! He kicked them all off himself. He kicked them all off by himself." Oh, I wanted that so bad. That'd have been my papa. That would have been the moment of the year. Okay, if he did it again. Okay. Yeah. Your thoughts, real fast. I'm sorry, go back on this match and that fatal fairway match. Again, I thought a lot of storyline was told in that match.
I did see people hate on this match a lot online, and I don't know why. You have you have three in a possible of the best that's ever done it. I thought they just put together a really good match. I thought the fact that they showed how much they all hated Roman Reigns, but at the same time, they had a little bit of disdain for each other. But Roman's still the cocky mofo coming out. You know, he didn't look worried or concerned at all. He was in there. Shout out to the fact that Samantha Irvin, I like Mike Rowan, but he was sick. And Samantha Irvin got to do Roman's interest again. Nobody does it better than her. Nobody makes Roman sounds like him. I hate to use that word more than she does. Match is put together fine. I will say, and I see what Mike is saying, but I will say when Solo came out, I did kind of roll my eyes a little bit. I did, right? Because how many matches have we seen Roman have where it's
definitely for swingers?
Two, yeah, I agree with that. How many matches we seen Roman have where he's about to get pinned 1-2, and then somebody with a hoodie pulls somebody out, and then so I would say, okay, like come on, bro, like
I'm with you, Anthony.
Y'all could have found a little bit better for that, but that's cool. Yeah, I'd rather him go into September, but I'm glad he got this far. I would not as mind it as much if he loses this year as opposed to last year. Yeah. Last year I was really going to get pissed off. This year I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
and Tony, Tony, I'm sorry. No, he's losing this title before.
Which brings up my second point, my last point. Yes. Right? I don't want to go on too many people. You know, I know I have my ways, but
go Turtles, go. I'm sorry, that was Friday.
If you have somebody who has had the championship for 1,200 plus days and biggest box office draw, everybody goes crazy. But he's number 2 on the card. Why in the world do you think they're going to have him lose the damn world championship? Well, exactly why?
We did openly say that, but when you're around wrestling fans and you've been drinking, wrestling fans start to throw out. We're weird people. We're some weird fans.
The technician was so sure that Roman was going to lose his championship.
He was.
I was like, have you lost your freaking mind? I wasn't going to name any names, but Mike's man, he's like, he wasn't drinking. What were you thinking? Barbara,
we were drinking.
We were drinking.
They were not.
We knew better. The second on the card, if when Roman loses the championship, that's it for the show. That's it, because you're not topping it. You're not. That's crazy.
Logan match does count, even though it was thrown out. There still was a match. Anthony, I'm with you. I don't want to end it Mania either.
Wanted them.
Okay. We supposed to be there throwing our ones up, sitting together. All right. Shay, I mean, I really thought the 4-way hit how his match with Edge and Bryan, but actually didn't come close. I really loved the match. It was just
a good match.
It was how, for me, watching it live, which, I could say unfair advantage, right? I watch on a replay. I watch without commentary and I watch with commentary, right? So watching it with commentary, as I said earlier, it helped to me guide the story. And you could just see, like, it was one point where LA Knight, who, nice pop, by the way, I have to say that. It has gone down. It has gone down, but every time he's hitting somebody, and that crowd was screaming.
Yeah.
The majority of the crowd. My voice is gone from screaming no the whole night. Okay. in that moment. But the storylines, AJ Styles broke that one up. And then AJ Styles going for the pin. He broke that one up. Then they cost each other the title as they hit their finishing moves. Things like that. That's Triple H put together to me in fucking awesome night and led us into the real megastar. We'll get back to Roman momentarily. We know we will be. This United States Championship match to me was good. It was very good. I don't say Logan Paul. If you don't like Logan Paul, to me, it's like not liking Roman Reigns. Do you have eyes? Do you wear glasses? I admitted I needed glasses. He has on sunglasses. I wears my sunglasses at night. No, I'm clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. Okay. Logan Paul is a star, not just a star. He is the real mega star, and he's going to pass that torch at WrestleMania. It's what they're saying to one LA Knight. But I thought this match was good, Chris. I like the end of the match. To be honest with you, it's been a while to me since a match ended like this, right? Yeah. It felt good. Everything doesn't have to be a pinfall or a count out or the way that Roman does. Like with Solo, I thought it was different. How Solo came out, individually did his thing, and tried to systematically how the storyline has been told. Oh, he's trying to smash him, stack him, and pin him. That was great as we're watching, seeing that. But this match, it's like, oh, he gets the knucks, he hit him. You think he's going to hide it and do it, and the referee sees that he has the knucks. I thought that he was great. Your thoughts?
I thought the match itself was not one of the best for Kevin Owens or Logan Paul. However, understand what I'm saying. I still thought it was a good match. Mm-hmm. I thought they put on a good match. And I feel like the crowd was not into it because it was a bad placement, in my opinion, what the match was. And it kind of hurt them because the crowd takes in and out of a match. So because they weren't really into it because of the placement, it made it go from, let's say, a B to like a C. But I thought the match was pretty good. But I loved the ending. I thought the ending was very well thought of, very well done. As Bad Guy Jack said earlier today, it protects Kevin Owens. Still makes him look good. Him going out there throwing Logan Paul, who's a hated heel, and does his job so well through the table. Even after he got thrown through the table and Kevin Owens went back over there, you can see Logan Paul. I mean, this man hasn't been in the business that long. He hasn't worked full time the whole time he's been here. Just cowering after he got thrown through the table. It's like, please, no more. But he's a badass. And Logan Paul's a fucking badass, right? I mean, it's amazing how well he portrays it. So I thought the match was good. I give it a B. Really will be a C because of the crowd. But I thought the match was good. I mean, I saw nothing wrong with it. And that ending was just very well done. So
I left this comment up here from Nightcrawler. Make sure you guys follow and subscribe to Unpopular Review Wrestling. All the social medias right there around the pages. The Mike Knox Show, that's with 3 X's because I'm hardcore. Listen to my voice. I'm a real wrestling fan. this comment right here, because that's exactly what that was. That was a dusty finish. And you know, thing we always bring about being intelligent wrestling fans, and sometimes being a fan, you don't want to always want to figure it out. That's why that the term with wrestling fans, we're kind of split. We got smarks, and you're a mark, and you're this, and you're that, right? Smart marks, this and that. You know, if I'd have just paid attention to the breadcrumbs, they were telling us all along Cody was going to win this match. Right, and the Royal Rumble and things that are in Tampa. They just kept mentioning Tampa and Dusty and Tampa and Dusty and Tampa and the Graham scenario and things and how important that was. And honestly, as a diehard Dusty Rhodes fan, I forgot about that territory. I just don't think of Tampa for me, but it meant a lot. And watching that, it just meant I just wanted to point that comment out. This is when I say subscribe and follow us, guys, so we get to that point where I want to start giving out like comment of the day. You know what I'm saying? Get this man a T-shirt or something, because that was just an amazing comment to even point that out, and that what was happening in that city, in that town. Anthony chimes back in real fast. Well, KO versus Logan was very good match, brutal at some points, and jumped out of my seat when KO hit the pin on Logan. To me, I thought it did have some excitement there. Like, he took that ass whooping Logan Paul did from Kevin Owens. That man's chest knows it. He was completely battered, and I love that match from that perspective. Phil, and kick this comment before we get into this men's Rose Rumble. Definitely should have been the second match. Both wrestlers were protected with that finish. 100% agree with you on that. But then we get to the men's Royal Rumble. A lot of people didn't like this one as well. Except consultant. What you were hearing out there? Because to me, I thought this match, again, cheating, watching it live, then coming home and watching it again, I saw everything, as I said, the women's had, and the Fatal 4-Way match had, and the U.S. title match had. It just kept continuing and continuing. Anybody who knows Mike Knox show, 15 years, shit, I can't, it's too much, whatever it is. I've always said wrestling is storyline. And I thought this Rumble portrayed that at its best, executive consultant.
Yeah, before I talk about this match, I hate to backtrack, but I forgot I wanted to mention this. Was shout out to Michael Cole for something that he said. I just want to
I was going to bring it up after we went back to that match, you son of a bitch.
Hey, I got to mention it. Michael Cole said,
absolutely.
Hey, you know what? I could tell Vince is somewhat gone. I can't believe I mentioned him again.
Sure,
but
did.
We love to hear the discussions from WWE fans about, Roman Reigns has to defend every week. Roman Reigns only defends with the title every couple months. Here's what I have to say about that. Beat him. At the end of the day, say what you want, complain about it. It doesn't matter, because Roman Reigns' record setting 1,246 days as WWE champion continues. That was a crystal clear FU, right? Because there's a reason why he is your tribal chief. And I'm not even saying that in character like I normally do. I'm saying it because it's the truth. There's a reason why he's your tribal chief. There's a reason he's had the championship that long. And until somebody can come across that can beat him, it's the truth. This Royal Rumble match, 30-man battle, Royal Rumble match, I thought was very well done. People call it the weakest of the two. I think it might be a little bit right. One thing that I would say about this, as opposed to the last Royal Rumble, though, with the women's, the only credit I would give it and give it a step over is the fact that there were times, especially in the 20s of the women's Royal Rumble, where I was like, oh God, Shotzi, oh God. God. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that problem except for number 29 being Ricochet with the men's Royal Rumble, right?
He still went home with Samantha Irvin last night, so he still won.
As you pointed out, and she is also up there to be just as attractive to me as Jade Cargill. So I've always had a crush on Samantha Irvin. Now that being said, I thought it was very well done. I don't this right here. I'm glad it came up. This is what I said between, I don't know, it was Jade Cargill and Bianca or Usos being side by side.
It was, bro.
I'm gonna give it a little bit to Bianca.
That's because for me, for the female factor of it, but this is right there. And no offense towards Jeff from the Raw Review Show, which is your tag team partners on Monday. What in the blue hell was you watching and listening to? I read that chat. Are you insane? We were in the building. Okay, so it don't even matter what you think you saw at home, because I came home and saw it, and it was still the same reaction.
Yeah, I watched that too, and I was like, hold on, I don't get, where is he not here? Some people, some matches I didn't, or interested, I was like, okay, I could hear where it sounds a little silent, This did not sound solid at all. First of all, Jey Uso, I've said it over and over and over again. Jey Uso might be the most, with the fans, right? Understand what I mean by that? Most over wrestler in WWE. World, really. That man had Tropicana rocking. It was a Thunderdome. The Thunderdome would have been rocking. That's how over this man was when he came out. They gave him a 2.5 minute entrance because they could not get past the visual of the entire crowd. And even though we were like 29,000 feet, we were doing like this.
I tried to go this whole program without mentioning that.
I'm sorry. I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to do it. We were like this, right? I literally saw, I'm lying, I didn't see. I literally saw Jey Uso look at us and say, I see you. No, this bitch ass didn't see us. But he was like this, man. I didn't even care who was number 2. And then here comes Jimmy Uso with some fire ass music. I don't think anybody says Jimmy Uso has some very good music, right? And he's been portrayed as a clown. So much.
The whole match.
I'm not even just talking about the match. I'm talking about period. Since he, went back to the lines, which portrayed as a clown. But the visual of these two, who Jey Uso has not been portrayed as a clown, made it, and the fact that it still looked like a big moment shows how much Jimmy is still getting over. And he was, in my opinion, as much as the MVP for the men's Royal Rumble. Why? Not because he was dominant like Nia, but as what Mike just said, a clown throughout the whole match. He was trying to get that from every heel in that match. And everybody shunned him. And he was just playing it all off every single time because he's very good. Mike said something unpopular that some people got on his ass about last night. He said, hey, are we going to acknowledge the fact that Jimmy is better in the ring and Jimmy is better on the bike? And people looked at him like he's crazy. I was quiet. Why was I quiet? Mike knows when I get quiet. It means I don't disagree with you. You're not wrong, man. You are not wrong. Jimmy is very good at what he does, and I just think he carried a lot of this Royal Rumble. Next to Dirty Dom.
Listen, first of all, this moment shows you yet again why the fuck you stand up with my bad voice if my children can hear me. Acknowledge me! That man did this, okay? Because I don't remember y'all sitting here saying Musa and all that stuff from day one-ish. Y'all wear them shirts, but y'all wasn't day one-ish. I was entirely with this family. And look where they come. Not one came out with a lay. They both came out with a lay. They came out 1 and 2. The way that crowd definitely is popping for Jay, it's no doubt about it. That crowd loves Jey Uso, okay? But that crowd also respects Jimmy Uso. Go watch Power. Go watch the husband and wife review show, Raising Cain in season 8. They asked Cain the question, which one you think is better? Which one you want? You want to be feared or you want to be respected? Learn it. Go watch a review show. You know where I'm going with that. But for my Intelligent Wrestling fans, 1 and 2, the way they looked at each other to stare down, damn right, this was the Knox moment of the night, part 1.1a. Because the crowd was crazy, the storyline was crazy. Watching it at home on TV, watching the facial expressions. Like, you serious? Right? My man Jay said, what you doing here, oops? Like, I'm number 2.
Jay's always been very good with the facial expressions, right? That's what put him over, I think, initially. But he was very well done when he looked at Jimmy. He looked disgusted, like
he looked completely disgusted.
How dare you?
How dare you be here? And then we get the return of Andrade to the Rumble. Shout out to Grayson Waller.
Shout out to Grayson Waller, number 3, coming out with the microphone too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't put this, right.
Yeah, I know.
Grayson Waller definitely did his thing at 3. But I want to say, shout out to Steve. Listen, I will forever go always bet on black. I gotta respect you supposed to be proud of your race, your heritage, and whatnot. And that man Steve clapped for every damn Latino wrestler that came out. That man stood up out of his seat, okay, and started to dance, okay. But Andrade had an appearance, and we all know why he's there because I'm not gonna do it. My voice is not here right now, and she was
Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
She wasn't part of the pay-per-view.
She is the reason why he returned. She is definitely the reason why he returned.
I didn't say nothing.
No, I'm giving you your props. You're right. You're absolutely right. And Rusev will be there too. It wasn't the fact that CJ Perry's in there.
Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
You were setting it up while you were waiting to play that clip. Good job. Good job. I didn't catch it. Good job. I wouldn't even talk about this. So guys,
I didn't want to talk.
This is your first L. You did a fantastic job. This doesn't even need to be talked about.
I'm gonna tell you why he talked about it because I know him. Because Bobby Lashley deserves more than this.
Well, yeah, but he got a big ovation. Everybody loved him and stuff like that. I don't want to talk about this shit because it's so disrespectful. He came out for what, 3 minutes to get this dumbass shit.
I'm glad he brought it up because I want to point out the difference of, again, sticking up for my heritage, sticking up for my people, and all black wrestlers matter to me. And I think my problem with that group in NXT, with Reggie, right? My problem with, honestly, in the beginning, with Street Profits. I feel like every single time there's a black representation of a wrestler, they're either cooning or they're hood. That's why I love David Otunga so much. I don't care what you thought about him. He was a freaking lawyer from Harvard. He was the black, what's the boy who had the brain cancer that went to Harvard? You know what I mean? Nowinski. Okay, that's who. Yeah, that's who. So Bobby Lashley is the only. You can't say, "Oh, The Rock." The Rock's fucking The Rock. That doesn't even count. He did. You know what I'm saying? And they promote his Samoan side. Bobby Lashley is the only black wrestler that's actually almighty. And Almighty deserves better than this going out from this trash. And you start screaming like, "What took y'all so damn long, Street Profits, to get out here? They weren't even in the Rumble. They wasn't even in the Rumble."
As soon as ALP or some group in front of me
starts walking out,
APA starts walking out, you should have known. She probably should have ran out there. But I mean, it was I'd rather not been in the Royal Rumble.
Well, we think about Omos.
To 21. Omos, they said, "Hey, we have a multi-man match. You ready?" Omos said, "Yes." Omos only wrestles on.
He's an attraction
on live events.
He's an attraction.
He's an attraction because, realistically speaking, they could not have him come out and always make lose. And then if he always wins, they have to go after the title. He ain't win no damn title. So it was good actually to see Omos. I think he's a good talent. He ain't giving you no 5-star matches. That's not his bag. That's not what he's supposed to do. But it was nice to see Omos there. So I was happy with it.
And they spoke about it. So I hope that's coming up because. And it was not there, so we're gonna speak about it real fast. And the chat spoke about him, Braun fucking Breaker. Yeah. And y'all see the slight differences here, and you should if you're watching NXT. They brought him up like this before. They made us forget. They always do the damn Men in Black. You forgot shit to us. He made his debut. This wasn't his debut, right? But he came up right before. He went back, got repackaged. I like the darker. I'm a huge fan of the Wolf Dogs. Okay, him and Baron Corbin. But he came back to the main roster, doesn't have on the dark colors, doesn't have that stuff on. It was bright, right? They made him, and the crowd knew him, and they popped for him, and the ropes, you spoke about it, as the commentator, if you were watching at home, spoke about it, as you must have knew that's what he's talking about. This man, Braun Breaker, put on a hell of a performance, and he threw out Omos. Okay, he did a hell of a the shit with him and Pat McAfee. They didn't want to come up in there. You know what I mean? Shout out to Pat McAfee, who always a banging job to me on commentary. I don't like he said, "What was that thing?" That's a man. You know that's a man. Call that man a man, not a thing. Other than that, Pat McAfee, that performance I thought was hilarious and funny. But this was your Final Four. A lot of people predicted this would be the Final Four.
It was very obvious that it was the number 4.
Barring somebody showing up at 30, which we did not get. We got Sami Zayn at 30. The Final 6 to me for the men was better than the Final 6 for the women because of you did have the different contrasts of the sides. It's like they had heels and faces on one side. I thought that was pretty damn dope from that perspective. But this was your Final Four, Chris. Go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to Dirty Dom simply because I want to give a shout out to Dirty Dom.
Yeah, we forgot about that too. Yeah, thank you.
He even though he didn't really have any big eliminations or anything like that, but even when he came out and his music played, the heat this man gets, which is why he walked slowly to the ring and not ran like everybody else. And just walked around the ring because he was trying to draw them in. And he does a very good job. That place loves to boo Dominic Mysterio. And every place I've been to loves to boo Dominic Mysterio. Very good job. He was disrespected in that Royal Rumble because they had the counter of all those wrestlers and how long they've been in there. And Cody was number 2 and really was supposed to be Dirty Dom. And I felt that was a little messed up, right? So shout out to him. Shout out to
on the screen with the Yeah,
how long they've been in
pointed
there.
that out. You definitely that was pretty white.
It was stupid. Respect him. Okay, he was, even if he didn't throw anybody out, he was in there for at least.
Maybe it was an error. You know what I mean? Maybe they did an error.
The WWE doesn't make those kind of errors.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, everybody makes mistakes. Here's a mistake. R-Truth making a mistake and come out during the women's Royal Rumble, which
thank you. Yes. At 24, right? They come back and that's when. Did you hear what he said when you watch it at home? When he said, so Adam Pearce says, "This is the women's Royal Rumble." And that man said, "You tell me all them is women?"
He is very, very good. Him coming out, the Awesome Truth reunion, which I still think is the team that's going to take the tag team titles from the Judgment Day, possibly. So I was happy to see them in action. It was funny to see them back, and then as the Miz was about to throw Dirty Dom out, R-Truth did the okie doke with Dom and said, "This is my partner." I don't know what's going on. The hot tag segment.
The hot tag was my man.
I've never seen it, and something after almost 40 years of the Royal Rumble, for us to see something we've never seen before, I think is remarkable. Shout out to Kairi Sane for the way she was eliminated, but she held on because that was I know that's how painful that is. But the hot tag thing was never done in the Royal Rumble before, so the fact that they did it, I thought was very, very well done.
Speak on Dom on that too, because I mean, and of course when that's there, because again, I'm speaking storyline. This is why I love the NXT show. I love Ron's and Barbara's perspective, you know, of being just straight fans of it, not trying to pick, you know, how us wrestling fans we do that. Like that storyline's so great that Dom's like, "What the hell you doing?" But like he knows he has to get some help, and he's like, "I gotta tag him, and he's gonna help me." Then if I just give in to R-Truth and tag him and have that happen, I thought that was fun. I mean, that segment was just all the way funny. How he threw in JD McDonough to get kicked right back out. The whole thing, like you said, with him and Awesome Truth was just great. Shout out to wrestling fans that can always help the youth around us when they don't understand what's going on and remember. And people, that's the thing about going to these events. I always tell people they're not made to be watched on television. They're good to see on TV, but you got to be there or be square, okay? Because the fans around you, the chants that are going, those who don't like your chant, do like your chant. Like, when Roman's coming out, we literally like, "Get the fuck up. What is wrong with you guys? Get on your damn feet. Acknowledge your triumph."
Yeah, I told him. I didn't see enough acknowledging. But
it was actually a lot, though, of people. Because we were 20, when you say 29,000 feet from the rest of the world at this point. But this was your final four, though. And I'm going to say this unpopular review this is unpopular review wrestling. Steve, I think you won me over with the Gunther thing. Fans, I think we are blinded sometimes to what we were not used to seeing and then getting something. And again, I don't want to be a walking contradiction that I think everybody's a walking contradiction. I let my man Wise Shabazz, the one we call Wise, that track, a walking contradiction. All I saw in this damn match was chops. and then maybe something about other matches that Gunther has. And I like Gunther, right? I do. But like, it's the thing. That man did the same shit for how long was he in that damn match for? It was nothing different.
He was in there for 35 minutes, and
tell me when I'm telling lies.
I was never going to say it out loud, but the man said something. When I was watching the match last night, I swear to God, I saw my head. I saw him chop somebody. I said, "Damn, if he's going to do something else." I didn't think that in my head. I was like, "Is he going to do something else because he just shot?"
That's all I was thinking. And I'm like, I like Gunther, so I don't want to add to the, I'm very powerful in my stance on wrestlers.
Gunther is one of my favorites right now.
Yes, I love him. But
from his matches I've seen, yes, he can obviously do more than chops. But last night was not it. As far as last night was proving what Steve was saying a little bit more, but he did a good job. I'll say this: the final four here, the person who I think did the best, and people might disagree with me.
No, I know you're going to say what it is. It was
Drew McIntyre.
It absolutely
Drew McIntyre went out there and did his thing, man. He went out there and did his thing, proving why Cody Rhodes. I was pissed off by that, by the way. I felt like whoever was not going to win, whether it be Cody or CM Punk, should be the one to eliminate Gunther. We didn't need to see Cody eliminate him again and then win the Royal Rumble. Punk gets over on McIntyre.
That's not
I
the
still
match,
think-
though.
I
Unless,
still think that
unless
might
Seth
be-
can't
unless-
go.
yeah,
If Seth can't
cannot
go,
if Seth can't go, this is your match: Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. But I mean, CM Punk. But Drew McIntyre, you can put him anywhere because he's that good. I wasn't a fan, like I said, I'm not a fan of him winning back to back. And I don't dislike Cody. I know sometimes it might come across. I'm actually a big Cody fan.
yeah, I know.
I
Me
just
too.
feel like he's overproduced at times. And for people, internet wrestling based fans always hate people overproduced, but they love them some Cody Rhodes. But he's overproduced. Like the man came out and had his full fucking entrance. Right?
First of all, you're gonna stop. You're gonna stop. I don't stop. You was bringing it up last night. No,
His full
absolutely not.
He had the smoke.
It wasn't as.
He had the pyro. He had everything except for he didn't go on the turnbuckle and do this. And I'm surprised they didn't do that shit, right?
Typically, only the first two get their entrances, right?
Well, he
Typically,
got all his.
he got all his because
All his.
what he has done, again, going to the press conference and what he's done and why I knew last year he wouldn't win. That's all. This year's what it is. It's me being a Roman fan from day one when you guys wanted to fight me and boo me and didn't like Roman. Always been a day one fan for him. Always been a Cody fan. Something just how they are, and I didn't want that story. I thought the other belt wouldn't matter, but he even says like last night in the press conference, no offense, don't disrespect to Seth, as he's making that belt prestigious. I want the one that matters to this company. And I looked, and I had all intents in my mind thinking that Chicago made Punk, which is from Rosemont, by the way, would win the Royal Rumble. Okay. And first thing my kids said to me, who'd you vote for? I said earlier in the show, I didn't care when it all was said and done because it's Cody and he does deserve to win. And Philadelphia's a big city for Dusty also. Must we not forget how big Philly is for Dusty, right? And well, Dusty's big everywhere. And he even says in the comment, I'm talking to my wife and I'm like, how hard must it be for Cody to always have to be reminded of his father, that emotion. If somebody had to bring up my mother to me every single time they spoke to me, I have her friends now will send me a message. I'm like, I don't hear that. You know, you know what I'm saying? But my wife said, yeah, you know, but my wife said, it's an honor. That's it. That's how it is. I mean, it's an honor that his father's that spoken about and that much. And what Cody has done for this business, we said it before, the sledgehammer things, all the jokes aside, this man has earned it because money talks, bullshit walks. This man went without a promotion of a company, without any major backing, with the help of his friends, and did sold out. You know, it's impressive what he do, and they love his mind. They love what he's come back, and then he went away and he came back home, and I think Cody 100% deserved the night. And then in this moment, we know where it's going. He said it in the press conference. Where it was going. I like this men's Royal Rumble more than most people do.
I was about to say, he said at the end of the Royal Rumble, actually, he said, I'm coming for you, Roman.
Yeah, you know, you're right. You're off air.
That was the
when we saw that.
That was the quickest. This is the match I'm going for of all
history.
That was
in the history of who you're going for titles. That's for damn shizor. But overall, your thoughts on Royal Rumble 2024, the road to WrestleMania.
So when we left, I was sitting here talking to David because I went to the last two Royal Rumbles with the technician, the last three now. And I said that I enjoyed it better than 2022's in St. Louis, but I did not like it as much as 2023's in San Antonio. Then I was talking to my friend Pete, who I was told earlier today is going to be a joke for the rest of the year. and he said to me, comparison is the killer of joy.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to put it on my Twitter, and I'm going to say it now because that is very good. That's the truth. Because when you do compare like that, it takes away from did you have fun and did you enjoy yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, and I feel like I'm doing UPRE. Shout out to UPRE on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
But UPR was in the building as well.
UPR was in the building. I was segueing into that. But shout out to UPRE because and the reason I come and say segue, I mean shout out to UPRE, is because I wholeheartedly believe that at the end of the day, and I say this in UPRE, at the end of the day, the question should be, did you enjoy yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That should be the question. And at the end of the day, I still did enjoy myself. I still had fun. So, yeah, we did. And then the fact of the matter is, this is the very first, so outside of WrestleMania 38, right? We had a lot of people there. UPRE was in the house, and UPR. I'm like Mike now. Mike always says UPR. UPRW was in the house. We represented all weekend. We represented.
Shout out to local pro wrestling.
Shout out to local pro wrestling. It was a great time, and you can't duplicate. You can't ask for better situations. I mean, yeah, we could have been in skybox and stuff like that. But once again, comparisons to killer joy. I had a great time. So good event, good Royal Rumble in my opinion. It was not bad at all. I would give it if I gave it a rating, I would give it a solid B. If I did a belt thing that y'all do, I would say 4 out of 5. You could pick your championship.
I like Phil's comment here, and I was going to mention this in my final take, but just intelligent wrestling fans think alike. And this was also brought up in the press conference that Bailey brought up. She said it was good that there was no legends there. That just shows the progression of the locker room for the women. We didn't need the legends to be there for this. There was just too many people to give a spot away to. And then you can't get everybody on the card. You can't do that. That's why I felt this was so good, because from women's to men's to fatal 4-way match, I felt everything was perfectly represented in the storyline in which they were already telling us up to this point. And with a lot of speculations we're going to this point, we still don't have all the answers or know what's going to happen to this point. It's so much to take. I can't wait for tomorrow. Will we see Jade Cargill on Raw? Will we see Jade Cargill on SmackDown? Where would she end up at? What is going to happen with Seth Rollins tomorrow? CM Punk did lose. How does he come back from that? And I got to say this, as a CM Punk fan, this was mentioned. I can't go without being on, because the Punk haters are out there. So they're going to say it and think, yo, I'm just being a blindly CM Punk fan. No, it's not the same CM Punk. Y'all remember he went to MMA and got his ass whooped? That took a toll on that man. He got his ass whooped in MMA. Okay? And then
you can see it last night. You can see it last night, you know.
But he was... It's to me, it's like the Jordan effect against LeBron. It's not a Jordan-LeBron conversation. LeBron may be a better athlete than Michael, some would say. But to me, LeBron's not the GOAT because Michael's not the GOAT because he's a better overall basketball player. It's the perception of him, right? Yeah. CM Punk is selling the perception of himself of still being great. And he has such a cult following, me being one of the dummies of them. Again, I look in my closet and I look like CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Jonathan Horatio Rodriguez, Tom Brady, Cena. I have so many of the damn shirt collections. It's Kevin Owens is like in there, Dolph Ziggler's in there, but I have like a lot of those shirts. Like my wife, I came home, she said, "Is that the same shirt you have except for the other one in the closet is white?" That's the first thing she said to me. You know, when I showed her my shirt. But for me, this Royal Rumble, I'm being honest with you, being in the moment of being there, I did not enjoy it as much as I could because of our seating arrangements. Again, you take the bad with the good. We came together as a group. As a group, you have to bend the knee as a group, and we stepped together, right? So it wasn't the best seat, but we were together. And so to get the advice of my wife to be like, hey, just enjoy yourselves. It's not this, it's not that. I had a great time in that aspect, but for me, it wasn't as enjoyable because I really couldn't see. I don't want to watch the screen. Right. And we were that, and we said in the section, I think we were pissing people off in the section that were happy with their seats. Because we were openly like, yo, this is the worst seat I've ever had. And they were just like, what the hell are you taking a picture of?
Because they were in
the screen?
They were happy to just be there.
No, you're right. And a lot of people are that way, 100%. And that's why I was going with that. You know what I mean? I'm not happy just being in the building. Okay. When you go from front row, so what they say from the penthouse to the outhouse? Nah, bro, I don't do the outhouse. I'm bigger and better than that. That will never happen for Mike Knox again. So coming home and getting to watch it again and seeing it from that perspective, to me, man, this is one of my favorite Royal Rumbles. And I'm not even joking when I say that, living in the moment. I just thought, again, my favorite component of professional wrestling is storyline. And it was so good. It was so continuous and fluent and everything that I want for professional wrestling. And again, I know people look for the action in the ring. It's Royal Rumble matches. They're not going to be action in the ring like that. You're going to get punches, kicks, moments, finishing moves. That's what a Royal Rumble is. Fatal 4-way match to me, perfectly marked and penned, and we knew how it was going to happen, like you openly said again, which I think you looked at me when I was even giving people thoughts that Roman could look. I swear to be like, what the fuck? Because I was like, well, yeah, if that does happen, like there is no does happen.
This is why you're a heel. Because you're giving people hope. I give them no hope.
Smash them, stack them, pin them should have happened. I'm going to give this 5 out of 5. For me, John Cena coming over to Raw with the spinner title runs. It was different from SmackDown. It was a new world. I like Tony putting it. Everybody's asking, what should this era be called? The Triple H era. How about that?
And it might just be called that. And
how about that?
You mentioned how there were no real legends coming out like that, no surprises. And I said that when we did the prediction show, because I think we had to do the prediction show, and I said it. You were like, "What surprises?" It's like, well, you're gonna have Naomi, but she's coming back, right? Andrade came back. The only real surprise like that they did was Pat McAfee, and that was room. And I said that I think that he took Brock Lesnar's spot. The dirt sheets are saying that was Braun Breaker. Might be, doesn't matter. But when you have that much talent in the back, shout out to Willie down there. When you have that much talent in the back, you don't really need it, because I can't stand you wrestling fans sometimes. I love y'all, but I don't love y'all, because y'all complain when we don't see the legends. But then when we do see the legends,
you complain still. That I didn't get a legend. R-Truth was all the comic relief you needed. We did not need to see Cody Kingston again do something that we know he's gonna do and not win. Right? That's past its course. Naomi didn't have to do it this time either. I'm glad they got rid of that shtick, because it ran its course, right? To see things like that. I wasn't happy how so I'll say some negatives, right? I didn't like how Finn Balor was treated at all. Like, damn, I was really shocked he was thrown out of there so fast, so easily. That kind of messed me off. Willie says he thought the Women's Royal Rumble was better. I thought it had, I think it was better for the moments that it had. But you said, we spoke about it earlier. I'm sorry, Jimmy and Jay to me, that to me was bigger than Cody and Punk. And I'm a Cody Rhodes and CM Punk mark. I really truly am. But I am also an Uso mark from day one. Okay. But overall, again, man, 5 out of 5. John Cena, Horatio Rodriguez, Tom Cena, spinner belts. Just a phenomenal pay-per-view PLE from me and from my perspective and what I want for professional wrestling. Completely cannot wait for tomorrow. Glad there's no show for the Mike Knox show tomorrow. Can we do this thing like this? I think there might have to be, because there's a Vengeance prediction show that has to take place. I think we'll talk about that. I don't know how people are home and how people's voices are doing, but I do know there is Vengeance tonight. From that, somebody said something about somebody was not winning something because they had a match. I'm like, well, Carmelo's in a match tomorrow as well. Like, and he was out there wrestling. And Carmelo Hayes did a good performance. Didn't like what they did with Bobby Lashley at all. I thought that was trash to me. But the women moment for me, I love Uso and Jimmy, but man, Rhea, Bianca Belair face to face with Jade Cargill, something that I did not want because everybody was speaking about it. So maybe I just was blind to it. Was just phenomenal. Again, shout out to this black girl magic. The WWE is showing you how can we just get the black men to be represented in such a strong manner as well. Other than that, that's my final thoughts. That is the executive consultant. I am Mike Knox. We are here every single day, damn near. Just go to Unpopular Review Entertainment Wrestling on YouTube. I guarantee you it's something that you like. If you don't like it anyway, right? Follow, subscribe, and share. Listen, we're going to get up out of here. Do not wake up tomorrow morning and say to yourself, I love me some me. Can't even do it, y'all. My voice is killing me. And don't love God. We are out of here, y'all. Peace.
You ready?